welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole at midnight here on Instagram. I'm Tere Joyce, your host, and you probably can't see. Well, I know, like, if you're just listening to this, you don't know what I'm doing right now, but I've got my hair a little bit different, and I've got this weird little tuft right there. Anyway, so welcome to the show. It is right now 11:56 p.m. on May 21st, and then we're going to be crossing over to midnight on the West Coast here in about 4 minutes. So I did start just a little bit early, not as early as I have in the past. Hopefully some of my friends that are up in Europe or India might be up right now. I know that some people on the West Coast are still up, and sometimes they participate with me on Instagram, but if nobody does, I'll just go on with the show as if I have a full audience, because I roll like that. All right, so let me just give me a little bit of update on what is going on with me as far as my media and where you can find me. Oh, here comes somebody. Hi, Liz Pill 777. Great. I love 777. Those are great numbers. So I'm going to give you a wave. Welcome to my podcast that I do here on Instagram at midnight. Like we are about 3 minutes ahead. And I was just letting people know where you can find me. All right. I do have a channel on YouTube called Tere Joyce Investigates. So that is kind of like my main channel, but it's different than this. So if you want to subscribe there, please do. I also have somebody else joined too. Very cool. Sasha Green, welcome. Welcome to my my midnight Instagram podcast. Hi, thank you for waving back. Awesome. Yeah, I also have a Not My Rabbit Hole YouTube that you can go to, and I also re-upload this footage to there as well. I do that on both my channels. I'm going to start a new channel. I'm very excited about this. I have a new website called OffGrid Comic. .com, and I'm going to start doing videos about going off-grid in my 1970 Dodge Tioga that has 44,000 miles on it and a 360 engine, and my progression of remodeling it and kind of living a different life. I have a solar battery and also solar panels I'm going to hook up. And these lights that you see right here, those are actually solar lights. I just stick the panels outside my window and it lights up in here. So I see somebody said something. Oh, Sasha says, ooh, love it. Thanks. OffGrid Comic. I think it's going to be really fun. I actually did a little bit of filming today. I'm going to be moving soon. And a friend of mine named Franchi San Pedro, comedian that I worked with way back we worked together back in, like, I think the late 80s, probably like 1989, 1988. And at the time he was featuring and I was opening, and he actually was there the week that I met my husband, my ex-husband, who is a comedian. And believe it or not, we all went to go see the movie Wild Orchid that had Carrie Oates in it and Mickey Rourke. And by the way, Carrie Oates is now in the news, by the way. I just watched a 60-minute Australian 60 Minutes about a modeling agent. The guy who he had elite modeling for a while. He was a predator on the young models. Quite shocking. And she and about 9 other women are coming forward with rape allegations, which kind of run a little bit coincidentally with Jeffrey Epstein. And then there's the Jean Brunel, who had the modeling agency that's been a suspect of being involved in some of this. And then, of course, you have the Les Wexner, who is with Victoria's Secrets. So I think there's been some major abuse that's been going on with the modeling industry for quite some time. And the industry has just kind of turned a blind eye to it. They would take these young girls that were 13, 14, 15, 16, mainly 15, 16, 17, and they would say, oh, don't worry about it. We'll take them to France. We're going to put them in an apartment. They're going to have a chaperone. And they were taking these young girls and even requiring them to go to parties with old elite men and stuff. It was just really awful. Anyway, that is on YouTube if you want to see it. How funny that I went from like Franchi San Pedro and this and blah 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 to the 60 Minutes. Boom 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 boom. But this is my satirical rant that I do for just about 30 minutes for my podcast. So it's just a hodgepodge of stuff. Gross. It is gross, Sasha. It is. It's just creepy. I mean, can you imagine? Like, I remember being that age, and then, like, when an old guy, you know, like, even 40 was like, you're, like, if someone was 40, you're like, you're 40. You know, I mean, now it's like, you're 40. I'm like, oh, you're 40. So it's flipped around. Like, that's a younger man now. 40. Oh, you're 40. Let me give you my number. Speaking of experiences recently with people that, you know, I'm divorced, so I'm single at the moment. I'm fancy free, and I just really haven't been thinking about it much. I should get back to the OffGrid Comic thing. Anyways, before I go into my Uber driver and the flirting, the OffGrid Comic, I'm going to be, you know, tricking this out and doing videos about it. And Franchi San Pedro, my friend Franchi San Pedro, who's a comedian that I've known since 1989, he was here and we filmed a little bit and we, you know, looked at the tires. Apparently my tires are 2003 and I have to replace them. And he's going to come over and charge my battery. It's just I'm kind of excited about it. It's going to be something different. And you know what? There's so many possibilities with that OffGrid Comic. Like, I could interview comedians. We could do comedy shows. I could take this to a town and do a comedy show. You know, if we get back to somewhat normal, you know, I mean, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of potential. So I'm excited. Yeah. So anyway, that's on the plate. So anyways, let's talk about dating right now. That even sounds like frightening at the moment, but I did take an Uber ride recently, and I had these braids. I think maybe that was kind of curious, you know, like you see like the mask, and then you have this is like a little hair ponytail thing, and I just like wrap it in, and then it's just like gives you a little alternative. And so I was like this, and then my driver was like, "Can you take your mask down?" Like, my Uber driver asked me to take my mask down. I was shocked, okay? And it's like it gives a whole new meaning to foreplay. You know, it's like, yeah, I'll take my mask down, you know? So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. Another thing, you guys are commenting here. Good. I was about to be triggered with all the Hollywood pedo talk. I had that in court today, but anyway, I'm sorry, yeah. I noticed your hair. I dig it. Thank you. Oh, Sasha, I know who you are now. I wasn't recognizing it. You were in court today? I just had court today. Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy topic to talk about it. It's not an easy topic to talk about. And then there are people that give disinfo with real info, and it's all screwed up right now. But the Jeffrey Epstein situation and Ghislaine Maxwell, that is ongoing. That is the closest thing to proving that there is some sort of sexual abuse of young women who are in the entertainment industry, who are in the modeling business. That's the closest thing to it that would come to some sort of like escort services or trafficking or something like that that a young woman can get caught up in. That's a real thing. And I'm going to go here for a second. I'm even going to go here with Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump with all the pageants and everything, all these pageants. It's just, things aren't like what we think they are. All right, so I don't mean to trigger anybody though. So Paul Vincent 40 joined. Nice to see you. I'm going to give you a wave. Hello. This is my Instagram podcast for like 30 minutes, just a rant that I do. But I do have things that I want to share in this 30 minutes. I'm not just like coming up here with nothing to say, really. One thing I do want to mention that I noticed with a few restaurants that I've gone into recently. I went to IHOP, and you know, there was just like one little piece of menu there, you know, just like the specials, like happy hour or whatever. And I asked the waiter, I said, do you have more of a menu than this? And she goes, oh, wait a second, I'll be right back. And then she leaves and she comes back and she goes, no. And she points to this thing. Like these little things that you scan, and the scanner things on the table. And she goes, oh yeah, what we can do is you just scan that, and then the menu's right there, and then you can order what you want. And then it kind of freaked me out. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. In my mind, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't want to go there. I was like, I want a damn menu. I just want a menu. And when I call people on the phone, like AAA or something like that, I want help. I don't want to hear the virtual voice. I don't want to hear it because the AI does not have the ability to think out of the box. Like, like there's no appendage. It's like, yes, no, what? Like, oh, and then like you say one thing, you get locked into another thing. No, I don't want to go down that aisle. It's just, maybe am I turning into an old person? Like, what happened? Like, I want a menu. I just don't, like, can't we just reel it back a little bit? Just dial it back for a moment. It's just going really, really fast. It's like this little, like, everything's gonna scanning, like, oh no, I don't want your app. I do not want an IHOP app. I just want to come to this restaurant for one time. I just want a latte. I don't want to download your app. I don't want to have your app on my phone. I don't want to have to take your app and then scan something and look at it and then order from there. Because you know what's going to happen soon? You, the rater, are going to be a robot. We're going to have a robot. The robot's going to come up and the robot's going to tell you, what would you like? Would you like to have some coffee? Okay. And then it's going to come and it's going to be more efficient than humans. And that's scary. All right, I shouldn't stop pointing, but that's just a thought. Like, when did this start happening? Did it happen when we had COVID? Like, they all got together and go, well, screw the menus. Get rid of the menus. Put this little code here. Make everybody download an app. Then everybody goes to the app, and then just goes, the medium rare. Scan it. Okay. I'll stop. It's a sensitive subject. It's interesting how the media just doesn't talk about it anymore. Sasha, yes, it is a sensitive subject. And I think the media is, they took our gerbs. They took our jobs. Yeah, we're losing our jobs. We are. It's like, well, figure something else out. I mean, those kind of jobs. And sometimes, and I thought this too before, and I feel guilty when I think it, but sometimes I think like there's no more good customer service anymore. I've worked customer service. I remember when we were supposed to greet somebody. We were supposed to be friendly. Hi, how are you? Can I get you a cup of coffee? Great. How was your meal? How are you today? Oh, John, good to see you. Yay, come sit at my table. It used to be that people would go to a restaurant not because the food was so great. was because you made them feel good when they came down. You had a human interaction. You gave them good service. I don't see that happening anymore. And I think that the mask even made it worse, because like we can't see our expressions. We can't go, "Hi, how are you?" Or you lose all of this. It's just like, here, like, can I get a cup of coffee? What did you see? Okay, why don't you just scan the app? No, I don't want to scan the app. But I have had times where I felt like I got shitty service, and in my mind, I just felt like, I had this fantasy going, one day a robot is going to have your job, and they're going to do better than you. Okay? Know it. like all of a sudden I turn into an elitist, right? Maybe they shouldn't have jobs. Maybe a computer would be better. All right, I'll stop. Right? Yeah, I know. I mean, sometimes, like, do people deserve to have jobs anymore? I mean, they don't seem to act like they care about it. And then they go, well, I want a raise. I think I should have this. Like, I don't know. Now I'm sounding like a Republican. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be offensive. All right. Another thing I want to discuss with you guys, another thing that I circled out on the topic to have is the aliens are coming. The aliens are coming, and I put that in the title of this show. I recently saw a news report. I hate to say, but it was on Fox News. And I think all news suck, really. I mean, let's just make fun of all of them. Fox, CNN, MSNBC, all of them. They're all, blah, blah, blah. I mean, lately I saw some news reports and things that we're supposed to be doing, and I feel like I lost it. I just started laughing. I go, what? This is like an absurdist play, like, what is happening? I had to laugh. Anyway, where was I? Oh, the aliens. Okay, so you guys probably saw it. Barack Obama coming out. Like, I'm like, well, where's Joe Biden? But Barack Obama steps forward and goes, yeah, I can't say. I mean, I'm under, oath or Secret Service or whatever. But, there's probably extraterrestrials. I can't really say to what point, but definitely I can identify that there are unidentified flying objects, and they've been flying over, and we can't account for them. So it looks like we're probably going to have UFOs and everything else. I'm like, whoa, here it comes, disclosure. Like, in the middle of everything else that's crazy, now we're going to have alien disclosure. Well, are they going to be friendly aliens? Are they going to be aliens that are going to help us? Are they going to be aliens going to go take the job? I mean, what are these aliens going to be like? And is it going to be fake? Because there is a woman named Carol Rosin who is who's been involved she used to work with Werner von Braun, all right, who made the rocket ship. And is part of the rocket ship and NASA, and he was part of Operation Paperclip. Werner von Braun said that the last card that will be played will be an alien disclosure. And I'm pretty sure that he might have even said that they're not what we think they are. There's a lot of theories about what an alien really is, and they could be possibly, and I know this is going to sound really woo-woo, but an interdimensional being as well, because way back when let's go back to Jack Parsons, who was the co-founder of JPL, who created like the rocket. He's the rocket man. He was an occultist who practiced Thelema, and he had done a ritual, an Aleister Crowley ritual, I believe with L. Ron Hubbard, who at one point started out living at the parsonage in Pasadena with a bunch of artists and this and that with Jack Parsons back then. before he became, when he was a science fiction writer, before he started Dianetics and everything else. So they did a ritual that created a rift where they conjured Lamb, which is an entity from Aleister Crowley that looks like the gray alien. So there's a theory that it's an interdimensional thing and not something that is what we think it is. I don't know. It just seems like we're living in a weird time. And why Barack Obama? Like, how come Barack Obama is the person to give that information to us and not Joe Biden or even Kamala Harris or even Nancy Pelosi? Or, come on, let's bring out Gavin Newsom. How come Gavin Newsom can't come out and say, we're about, I can confirm. Well, not even Trump. I mean, Trump started Space Force, right? So, anyway. Anywho, Sasha, I need a hot alien man in my life. So do I. A hot alien man. Well, you know what? This is not my joke, but I'm going to share it with you. A comedian friend of mine named Jean McGuire wrote on Facebook something like, it was Cher's 75th birthday. People say that she's still hot. And then he said something like, yeah, but it's a dry hot. Or it's a dry heat. Oh, I just screwed up his own joke. Sacrilegious. So, yeah, I need a hot alien man too. Just like maybe just a man. Probably. They did take our jobs, though. So, that's pretty much it in a nutshell that I've been thinking about the last few days, is dealing with the app thing when I go to a restaurant. I mean, these things in our life are supposed to make our life easier. Like, I think it's like, it's more efficient this way. Or we're just being told, well, this is just the way it is. Like, you're just going to have to get used to, like, scanning apps and going up to kiosks and getting your own stuff and kind of like being a self-serve person. What is it that we're told? It's going to be the great reset, and we're not going to own anything, but we're going to love it. You're going to love the fact that you have to rent everything. You're going to love the fact that you got to rent water, and you're not going to own your clothes. You're just going to rent them. Maybe we could just rent an alien hot new boyfriend. Like, hey, I'll rent you for... Oh, that's not sounding very good, is it? I'm going to rent you for like an hour. No, I don't think so. Sorry. Anyway, so I guess I should tell you again, like, what, where you can find me, and hopefully you will support my work. And Sasha is a writer. Sasha Green. I read a little bit of I remember, like, you sent me something and I read it, and I really liked it. I think you're really talented. By the way, let me mention this. You know how I know Sasha Green is through her ex-man, right? That we were taking a class with George Clayton Johnson, who wrote the first Star Trek episode and Logan's Run, and also wrote the book for Ocean's 11. And we were taking his, he was teaching a writing class in Burbank. And I gotta say, that was, I think, and then we would go out afterwards and we would go for Mexican food and talk about stuff after class. What a treat. What a great, he had an amazing mind. He's no longer alive, but I believe he was about 82 at the time when we were taking his class. And there's a couple times where he drew this little cartoon of himself on a napkin. And I have two of them still. I have two of the napkins with his drawings on them. Yeah. He was so rad. Yes! And episodes of The Twilight Zone. Yeah. I think he even wrote the first one. Oh, hey! Pimentel, oh my gosh. The Pimente Kerala. I'm sorry, I'm messing up your name again, but I know you're from India. I remember you from the last time. That's what I said earlier when I started the show. I said, all right, I'm probably going to either have some of my late night friends here in the United States or, you know, some of my friends that are in Europe or in India. Well, maybe will join me tonight. Hi. Good to see you. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. One last thing that was on my mind. This is kind of dark, actually, but speaking of Mickey Rourke, because we started out talking about Carrie Otis and being in the modeling agency on the 60 Minutes, talking about that, but Mickey Rourke, who was in Wild Orchid, which is the movie that I saw with Franchi Sanpedro and my ex-husband, you know, before we dated. Like, what a movie to watch, right? Wild Orchid. Very erotic film. And I believe that was a, who was that director that did that? He did 9.5 Weeks, too. It was a director. I'm going to look this up. There was a director, the director of 9.5 Weeks, also did Red Shoes Diaries. Did a lot of those kind of, for a while, there was some really good scripts that had an erotic theme to them. Let me look this up just so I have to 9.5. That 9.5 Weeks was with Kim Basinger, and you know, it was in the past. It was the 9.5 Weeks is directed by. Oh, come on, give it to me. Let's see, Mickey Rourke, Elizabeth McGraw, Zalman King. That's what I started to remember. Zalman King was directed a lot of films like that. So anyway, Mickey Rourke also starred in a movie called Angel Heart, which I was doing a live stream on Tere Joyce Investigates, and one of the people that was talking in the chat. And when I do my YouTube live stream, I use StreamYard, so I can put people's comments up on the screen when you respond to them and stuff like that. And I like that. One of the people in the chat's name was Louis Cypher, and I recognized it as being the character that Robert De Niro played. Robert De Niro played Satan, played Lucifer. And the one thing about the movie I can remember was he had these really long fingernails and he would be peeling an egg. And he talks about how the egg is the shape of a soul. And then he asks Mickey Rourke, would you like to eat an egg? And then Mickey Rourke says, no, thank you. Angel Heart, right? He says, no, thank you. His character's name is Harold Angel. He goes, no, thank you. I have a problem with chickens. And then you see Robert De Niro just take the egg and he's like, you know, it's so creepy. It's so creepy. But what's weird about that movie is that he is looking for somebody named Johnny Favorite, who is a singer that kind of went crazy. He worked with the military, and he kind of went crazy, which makes me think about MK Ultra Mind Control, and the Johnny Favorite character was an occultist with all these different people. So he ends up looking for him, and every time he looks for him, he ends up like, the people end up dying, and then he ends up being the killer, and then you realize he's going to hell now. It's really a disturbing film, but why am I even talking about it? But I don't know. I mean, the whole thing about a character, like, you know, not knowing who they are, being heinous like that, in that, you know, just the way it was just interesting. Anyway. So there's that. Gary Tenno. Hi. Welcome. I've had a nice crowd tonight. This has been enjoyable. Well, this is just my 30-minute rant at 12 o'clock midnight. Good morning, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. Hi. And hopefully, I'm here every Friday night around this time at midnight just to do a 30-minute satirical rant for the apocalyptic times, just a stream of consciousness thing. Thank you for being here with me. You can find me on Anchor, Spotify, Outcast, YouTube, Not My Rabbit Hole, YouTube, Tere Joyce Investigates, and soon to have OffGridComic.com. And thank you for giving me the heart. Thank you, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
Shake it, shake it, shake it, real good. Shake it, shake it, shake it, real good. Shake it, shake it, shake it, real good. Shake it, shake it, shake it, real good.